Monday, March 15, 1886. About 7 o'clock in the morning, Sri Ramakrishna felt a little better. He talked to the devotees, sometimes in a whisper, sometimes by signs. Narendra, Rakhal, Latu, M, Gopal of Sindhi, and others were in the room. They sat speechless and looked grave, thinking of the Master's suffering of the previous night. Master to the devotees. Do you know what I see now? I see that it is God Himself who has become all this. It seems to me that men and other living things are made of leather, and that it is God Himself who, dwelling inside these leather cases, moves the hands, the feet, the heads. I had a similar vision once before when I saw houses, gardens, roads, men, cattle, all made of one substance. It was as if they were all made of wax. I see that it is God Himself who has become the block, the executioner, and the victim for the sacrifice. As he describes this staggering experience, in which he realizes in full the identity of all within the one being, he is overwhelmed with emotion and exclaims, "Ah, what a vision!" Immediately, Sri Ramakrishna goes into samadhi. He completely forgets his body and the outer world. The devotees are bewildered. Not knowing what to do, they sit still. Presently, the Master regains partial consciousness of the world and says, "Now I have no pain at all. I am my old self again." The devotees are amazed to watch the state of the Master, beyond pleasure and pain, weal and woe. He casts his glance on Latu and says, "There is Latu." He bends his head, resting it on the palm of his hand. I see that it is God Himself who rests His head on His hand. Sri Ramakrishna looks at the devotees, and his love for them wells up in 1,000 streams. Like a mother showing her tenderness to her children, he touches the faces and chins of Rakhal and Narendra. A few minutes later, he says to M, "If the body were to be preserved a few more days, many people would have their spirituality awakened." He pauses a few minutes. But this is not to be. This time, the body will not be preserved. The devotees eagerly await the master's next words. Such is not the will of God. This time, the body will not be preserved, lest, finding me guileless and foolish, people should take advantage of me, and lest I, guileless and foolish as I am, should give away everything to everybody. In this Kali Yuga, you see, people are averse to meditation and japa. Rakhal, tenderly, please speak to God that He may preserve your body some time more. Master, that depends on God's will. Narendra, your will and God's will have become one. Sri Ramakrishna remains silent. He appears to be thinking about something. Master, to Narendra, Rakhal and the others. And nothing will happen if I speak to God. Now I see that I and the mother have become one. For fear of her sister-in-law, Radha said to Krishna, "Please dwell in my heart." But when, later on, she became very eager for a vision of Krishna, so eager that her heart pined and panted for her beloved, he would not come out. Rakhal, in a low voice to the devotees. He is referring to God's incarnation as Gauranga. Footnote: according to the Bengal school of Vaishnavism, Sri Krishna wanted to taste and enjoy his own sweetness as Radha did. But this could not be done to the fullest extent unless Krishna was infatuated with himself, as Radha had been. Accordingly, he assumed a form in which all the aspects of the Krishna of Vrindavan and those of Radha coexisted. And in this aspect, Krishna enjoyed his own charm and sweetness. This form is known as Sri Gauranga, who was a blending of Radha and Krishna. Footnote ends.